I've always been fascinated by antiques, so when I found an old, ornate mirror in the attic of my new house, I couldn't wait to give it a new home. It was beautifully crafted with intricate carvings along the edges and a rich mahogany frame. But there was something about the mirror that seemed almost alive. At first, I chalked it up to my imagination. It was just a mirror, after all. But as I spent more time looking into it, I started to see things. At first, they were just vague shapes and colors, like an abstract painting. But as time went on, the visions became more and more clear. I saw people, places, even events that I had never seen before. I saw the birth of a child, the fall of a city, and the rise of a new leader. I saw disasters, triumphs, and everything in between. It was like the mirror was showing me the future. At first, I was thrilled. It was like having a crystal ball, a way to see what was coming before it happened. But as I watched more and more, I started to realize that the visions weren't always good. In fact, they were often downright terrifying. I saw wars, natural disasters, and plagues that wiped out entire cities. I saw people I loved dying in horrible ways, and I saw myself making decisions that I knew would lead to ruin. It was like a never-ending horror movie, playing out in front of me every time I looked into the mirror. But I couldn't stop looking. There was something addictive about the visions, like a drug that I couldn't get enough of. I started spending more and more time in front of the mirror, trying to decipher the messages it was showing me. And then, one day, I saw something that chilled me to the bone. It was a vision of myself in a dark room, holding a knife. In front of me was a figure, shrouded in darkness, and I could hear their voice whispering in my ear. "Kill them," the voice would say. "Kill them all." I tried to look away, but I was transfixed. I watched as my hand tightened around the knife, and I saw the figure in front of me turn into someone I knew, someone I loved. I gasped and stumbled back from the mirror, heart pounding in my chest. I had to get rid of it. I had to get it out of my house before it drove me insane. But as I tried to leave the attic, something stopped me. A force, like an invisible hand, holding me in place. I tried to pull away, but it was like the mirror was drawing me back in. And then I heard the voice again. "Don't be afraid," it said. "I'm not here to harm you. I just want to show you the truth." I hesitated, unsure of what to do, but something about the voice was calming, almost hypnotic. "Look again," it said. "See what I have to show you." Slowly, hesitantly, I turned back to the mirror. At first, I saw nothing but my own reflection, but then the visions started again. But this time they were very different. They were brighter, more hopeful. I saw people coming together, working to create a better world. I saw advancements in technology, medicine, and science that would change the course of human history. And then I saw myself in a different room, holding a different knife. But this time, the figure in front of me wasn't someone I loved. It was someone who had hurt me in the past. Someone who had caused me pain and suffering. And as I raised the knife, I felt a sense of justice and satisfaction, like I was finally taking control of my own life. The visions continued, showing me glimpses of a future that was both beautiful and terrifying. And as I watched, I realized that the mirror wasn't just showing me the future, it was showing me the choices I had to make to shape that future. I spent hours in front of the mirror, studying the visions and trying to decipher their meaning. And as I did, I began to understand that the mirror wasn't evil or cursed, as I had initially thought. It was simply a tool, a way to see the world in a different light. But with that knowledge came a new responsibility. I knew that every time I looked into the mirror, I was making a choice. And I knew that those choices would have consequences, not just for me, but for everyone around me. In the end, I decided to keep the mirror. Not because I wanted to use it for personal gain, but because I knew it could be a force for good. I knew that I had the power to shape the future, and I wanted to use that power to make the world a better place. So now, every day, I spend a few moments in front of the mirror, studying the visions and trying to make sense of them. And while the future is still uncertain, I know that I have the power to shape it, one choice at a time. As for the voice in the mirror, I still don't know where it came from or what it wants. But I know that it's not malevolent, and I've come to think of it as a kind of guide, helping me navigate the murky waters of the future. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm not afraid anymore. Because now, I know that I have the power to shape it, and with that knowledge, anything is possible. But as I continued to use the mirror, I began to realize that the voice wasn't just a guide. It was something more, something sinister, lurking just beneath the surface. It whispered to me in the dead of night, urging me to make choices that would lead to pain and suffering. And as the visions grew darker and more twisted, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being led down a path which there was no return. The antique mirror had become a doorway to a world of darkness, and I was its unwitting captive. Despite the warnings and the signs, I couldn't resist the pull of the mirror. The visions, no matter how dark and twisted, were too alluring to ignore. But as I stared into the mirror one night, I saw something that shook me to my core. It was a reflection of myself, but it was different. My eyes were black pits, my skin was ashen, and my smile was twisted into a grotesque grin. And then I heard the voice again. But this time it too was different. It wasn't a whisper anymore. It was a roar, filling my mind with its dark desires. "Finally," the voice said, "you've become one of us." I tried to look away to break free of the mirror's hold on me, but it was too late. I was trapped, forever lost in the darkness of the antique mirror, and as I looked back at my reflection, I realized the truth. The mirror wasn't a tool. It was a trap that had ensnared me and countless others before me, and would continue to do so long after I was gone. The antique mirror wasn't just cursed. It was cursed with a hunger for souls, a hunger that would never be sated, and as I faded into the darkness, I knew that I was just another victim. Another nameless soul claimed by the cursed antique mirror. And as I faded into the darkness, the cursed antique mirror continued to claim more victims, but my soul was different. It was stronger and fought back against the mirror's grasp. In a moment of clarity, I remembered the knife that had been used to break the curse on the mirror. Summoning all the willpower I had left, I focused my mind and manifested the knife within the mirror's world. My fingers closed around the hilt, and I used it to slash through the mirror's surface, breaking the curse and freeing myself from its grasp. I emerged from the antique mirror, my soul scarred and battered, but still intact. I knew that I was finally free, but I also knew that I had to warn others of the danger of the cursed mirror. With trembling hands, I wrote down my story and posted it online as a warning to others. It was a warning of the dangers of seeking power and knowledge without understanding the cost. It was a warning of the dangers of falling into the seductive embrace of the cursed antique mirror. As I finished writing my warning, I knew that my fight wasn't over. The cursed antique mirror still lurked out there, waiting for its next victim. But for now, I was free, and I was determined to help others avoid the same fate that had befallen me. Hello everyone, I'm Giggles, and thank you so much for listening to my narration. A quick shout out to all my patrons: Melissa Perez, Geek Sanctuary, Lawrence Wallen, Andreas Anderson London, Eric Cifuentes, Krzysztof Kozak-Slazak, Jesse Hartley, and Icy Narrates. If you want to become a patron today, you can check out the link in my description below. And as always, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video.